Yo, Duckies, Andi here, back with another advanced OBS tutorial, and today we're going to be taking a look at audio. You clicked on this video because you want to get the best settings for your mic, but I just want to give a big apology. I've not put out any content recently. I have actually been pretty ill. I had viral meningitis, but I'm back in the saddle again. If you know the song, let me know in the comment section down below. So we're going to be looking at microphones and working out the best kind of filters to use to make it sound the best, because I moved all my studio around. I thought this would be the perfect time to show you since I need to set it up myself. Okay, so we're going to go through different filters. I'm not going to show you the perfect settings because there's no such thing as the perfect setting, okay? Everybody's setup is completely different. Everyone's got a different microphone, everybody's got a different shaped room, everybody's got a different desk, they've got different things in front of them, so everybody's settings are going to be completely different. There's never usually two exactly the same, okay? So that's my disclaimer there. But before we get into it, this video is actually sponsored by my EP, Runaway Widow. You can check it out on pretty much any music streaming platform at all. So the link is in the description below. Let me know what you think to it, okay, guys? And as always, make sure you like the video. Also subscribe because I've got tons of tips to be showing you, okay, guys? Let's get on with it. Put your rock with the stone. Much love. So everything that we're going to use today is actually already built inside of OBS. There is one thing that I would recommend right at the end, and that's an EQ. And I'm going to give you the link in the description below to get that downloaded. It's on Reaper plugins. I am going to be doing a video on the Reaper plugins and everything like that because they are awesome. They make your mic sound incredible. So make sure you are subscribed for that, okay, guys? So jumping inside of OBS, you can see I've got my audio input just here, and I'm getting a decent-ish signal. It's not hitting in the red, so the whole thing goes red. That's called clipping or peaking. So I've got quite a comfortable signal. If you're not seeing a decent signal where it's high in green and maybe a bit into the yellow, then you need to increase your gain. So depending on your microphone, you might have a switch on it, something like that, to turn the gain up. Or if you're using something like an audio interface like I am, you can turn the gain up on there, the main volume knob. And you want to get in a comfortable position just like that before we add any filters. As soon as you've done that, it's cool. You're all running, it's great. We hit the cog and go to filters, and we're going to be probably putting on 5 filters. That's roughly what you should be doing. It sounds a lot, but it's genuinely not. It's just very helpful. So we're going to hit the plus, and the first thing we're going to put on is a noise suppression. Not everybody is going to need this. If you've got if your microphone's right next to your computer and you've got really loud fans, this is going to help suppress that noise. It's going to stop that noise. It's going to make it less obvious, okay? And especially if you're running OBS 26, which is going to be coming out very soon, the noise suppression is a lot better now. But noise suppression, I actually don't use it on my microphone because my computer's all the way over in the corner and you can't really pick it up. But if it does get picked up, I only have it on -2 decibels. So you're not going to see any change to your audio graph here or anything like that. Audio meter graph, I don't know what I'm talking about. Even when you change this, you're not going to see any difference at all. This is just for background noise. So the best way to find out if you've got background noise is to just hit record right now, hit start recording, and then listen to the video back in a different room. And if you can hear like little things like that, that means you need to put noise suppression on, and just play around with that until you get that to just disappear. So like I say, I normally have it on -2, but I don't actually use it at all. Right, hit the plus sign again, and we're going to put a noise gate on. This works just like a gate would. If you want to go through it, it needs to be open. If you don't want to go through it, it's going to be closed. So it's the same for audio. The close threshold, if I turn this down, you'll see as I'm talking, now my bar is completely gone unless I speak up. Like if I'm talking quiet like this, you can't see anything on the bar there. But as I start talking louder, you'll start seeing it pops up. That's because at 96 decibels, when I'm very quiet, it's going to close my microphone off. So this is how you get rid of really loud noises in the background, such as typing. So if I'm tapping on the keyboard and stuff like that, you can stop that from coming through your microphone. So again, this is a bit of a play around. So your close is usually going to be close to your open threshold, because your open threshold is when your microphone turns on. So if I turn that quite low, you'll see my microphone is always on no matter how quiet I kind of am. So depending on your sound levels, that will allow the audio to come through. So play around with these two. Your close is always lower than your open. It all depends on what your kind of surroundings are and how loud they are, okay? You only want your voice to come through your microphone, so that is what we're aiming for. So just keep talking until you get to a position where this is constantly going up and down, but when you stop talking, it stops. If that makes sense. That's all you need to do. The attack time, the hold time, and the release time, this is basically how quick the gate activates, how long it holds that for, and then when it releases it. That is pretty much what that says. You don't really need to mess about with them. They're quite natural timings. I actually do a lot of music production, as you can tell, when I do my EP, the Runaway Widow EP. I have to mess about with all these sort of things to get the right sound for me, but this should be perfect for streaming. It should be absolutely fine. The next thing that we're going to add on there, this kind of depends on exactly what sort of sound that you want to go for, or if you've got good enough levels. Like, to be honest, my levels aren't great right now, so I'm going to add a little bit of gain right now. Before I add anything else, I'm going to add a little bit of gain. As I'm talking, I can turn this up, and as you can see, that bar at the bottom's going up, and now I'm clipping. As you can see there, when it's red, you do not want that. You do not want that at all. It will make your stream sound terrible. So I'm going to mess around with this. But as I'm talking, you need to remember you're going to be shouting as well. Especially if you rage like I do, you need to make sure you get this in a comfortable spot. I've found around 10 decibels. As you can see, I'm comfortably in this yellow bar there. That is good. We want to aim for that yellow. It's beautiful. Even when I'm getting a little bit louder then, it wasn't getting too loud, which is nice. What I want to do now is add another one on then. And we're going to add a compressor. This is the beautiful magical touch. This is when everybody's shouting and different things like that, and it gets a little bit loud in your stream. This is going to stop you from peaking and blowing everybody's brains out, blowing everybody's ears off with your anger. Even though it's funny, it's great. So as I start getting louder now and get louder and louder, this bar is actually staying very, very safe. Even though I'm talking the same low tone now, as I start getting louder, it doesn't go too much louder. Sorry for blowing your ears there. The way this works is the ratio up here is how much it's going to compress the audio coming through. So if I have it on low like this as a 1, it's going to only basically compress. I think 1 actually means it's not going to really do anything at all, but the higher that I put this on, this is how much it is going to actually compress it. So as I start getting really loud, it's going to hold it back and hold it back. To be honest, having it on between 1 and 10 is usually good enough. This is all depending on what you need to listen to yourself and find out what you think sounds right for your voice as well, and depending on how much you do shout. Your threshold just here, this is when it reaches that certain amount of decibels, it is going to activate the compressor. So if I put this really low, for instance, it's going to start compressing everything that I'm saying because it wants to make it quieter. But because we're on -60 and I'm talking very quiet, it's compressing it all down to -60. Which is very quiet. So I want to get up to the top. Normally I have it on something like -10, between -10 and maybe -6 or something like that, because that is your red area. Look, this is what I was talking about. If you set it to like -6, you're in a decent spot. Even as you start getting louder, it's not going to go any louder than -6, okay? That's pretty good. The attack and release are pretty much as we said before. You can leave them. That's a natural sound. The output gain is if you're not quite meeting the mid yellow and at the bottom of the red, you can actually boost your gain again to make it a little bit louder as you want. But normally you can leave that on 0 depending on what you're going to get. This is what I mean why I can't give you the exact numbers to type in, because your setup's going to be different. So all we're aiming for with that is to get it to be constantly in this nice, I call it the sweet spot. It's on this line here that you want to aim, between that yellow and the red. So as soon as we're kind of hanging there all the time, even when we're being louder, we've done it. We've cracked it. That is done. Last but not least, we're going to add a VST2 plugin. This is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. We want replugs because it's awesome. We're going to add an EQ. So I'm just going to call it EQ for now. And once you've got it installed, make sure to subscribe. I'm not going to go into installing it right now because it can be a little bit janky. I think I've got EQ. No, I've got reverb one already. I will be getting back to the EQ one. So we're going to go in here and go to re-EQ. Like I say, all the details are in the description. Open plugin interface and you'll see the sound wave. So you guys would probably be familiar with this if you've seen different plugins that people use on their streams where it displays the audio graphs and everything like that, which is awesome. This is our voice as we're talking right now. So I'm not going to be able to tell you exactly what works right for you. Like if you're manly and you've got quite a deep voice, you might not want to boost the basses, but I've got quite a high voice, so I like to boost my bass a little bit, so I'll pop that up a little bit there. The trick is with this, less is more, okay? And you fiddle about with all these settings on how you want to go. The nice thing is, it's quite visual. So as I'm boosting the bass up at the bottom, you can see this graph right now. If you were listening to me, it would be like, which is not cool. So what I like to do is just put little bits on like this, and luckily because I do music and when I'm recording my voice, I know what EQ sounds right for my voice. The good thing to do is usually add a nice little bit of high, a little bit of low, and then play around with these two middle bits depending on, it can also pay in effect on your dialect or your accent, which is the same thing, or anything like that. It can change what frequencies you use to talk. So to find something that sounds nice, just do little bits like this. You see, I'm only moving it slightly, and what I'll do there is I'll record myself and listen back to it. And you just need to keep doing that on repeat until you find something that sounds right for you. And as long as you think it sounds right, then it's fine. You don't need to worry about anything else. As long as you're happy, everybody else should be happy, because this is your art at the end of the day. They can't tell you your art is bad. Like, you do you, okay? Enjoy yourself. And that's pretty much it. That is everything that we need to get a decent sounding microphone. That's everything that I'm using right now. Again, just to reiterate, we want to go for the sweet spot on the volume, and then your compressor and stuff is to stop it from when you're getting shouty to ruin everything, and then your EQ kind of gives it that little, it's kind of the sugar on top, little cherry on top. It makes it sound beautiful and crisp. That's how you get that really nice sound. That is pretty much everything that there is to it to get in that right sound. I know a few of you will say, oh, why are you recording yourself and not listening to it? There is an option if you press the cog and go to advanced audio properties. You can turn monitoring on, and that will allow you to hear yourself whilst talking. But there will be a delay, so you won't be able to hear yourself properly. So my advice is to definitely record it and listen to it back in another room if possible, because then you don't have any of the background noises that you've got in this room. That's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully that's helped you out. Sorry that I've kind of gone on a little bit. I normally do these tutorials a little bit quicker. I'm very conscious of time, and I'm a little bit out of it, but I will be getting better, okay, guys? But hopefully, if you've got any questions or anything like that, please let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you do like the video, also subscribe, because there's tons and tons of different features that I'm going to be showing you on the channel. Going to be doing some more Leoran board stuff, OBS stuff. I've got loads of stuff, and just even interactive elements in streaming, so you don't want to miss it, okay, guys? Put your rock with the stone. I'll see you soon.